Despite suicide being a crime, Singaporean teenagers are not strangers to suicide.
I tried to be friends with everyone. I tried to be part of the team. But no one would accept me.
I lost the will to do anything. I just wish that I had jumped down that night.
Life wasn't like this before.
According to the World Health Organization, since 1995, at least 360 Singaporeans committed suicide every year. That's nearly one individual per day. The birth rate of Singapore is about 127 babies each day. This ratio might not look serious at first, until that one happens to be someone in your circle of friends. Out of your friends, the chances that a few of them have attempted suicide are very likely. We have a professional psychiatrist who is also the course manager of psychology from Temasek Polytechnic to affirm that.
This kind of statistics are based on reported cases, and we know that there are also among us lots of cases where people have attempted suicide either at home or their friends have discovered them that's never been reported.
In this documentary, we want to listen to the stories of young people who have tried to take their lives but lived.
I was in the Navy. I tried to be friends with everyone. I tried to be part of the team. But no one would accept me. I feel so isolated. All alone. No one would come to me and really ask me to join them in what they're doing. I was all alone on the ship. All alone. Everyone ignored me. I tried to play with them. They just got angry at me. I was so stressed up. I have no friends. No one I could talk to. I really need someone. I took the gun. I pinned down someone who he claimed I could call him friend. And what happens? I become the target of so many guns. I'm so innocent. Yet they pointed over 10 guns at me.
I feel that desperate times causes desperate measures. That's why suicide can be caused by that.
It's true. Our next case study agreed to jump off a building with his mum when their pain brought by his father became unbearable. But what really brought him there was because his mum asked him to. He was just 6 at that time.
She said that she promised that there will be peace, and she wanted me to come with her. She promised. I trust her. I trust my mom better than my dad. She was the only person that I have, the only person that I will believe in. So I agreed to jump with her.
Suicide is about someone experiencing excruciating pain, so much pain that they do not know how to deal with it. A lot of the time, people do not want to die, they just want the pain to end. Like people who have attempted suicide also, it's not fully about the intention that I want to end my life. Nobody wants to end their life and have all the good things.
Though people have committed suicide to end their pain, in Singapore, suicide is a crime. And we visited Harry Lyer's partnership to find out more about the law.
It is a crime to attempt suicide, as provided for in Section 309 of the Penal Code. Under Section 309 of the Penal Code, the maximum punishment for attempted suicide is 1 year's imprisonment, or a fine, or both. Attempted suicide is stated as a crime in our law books merely as a prescriptive measure, and criminal punishment is actually rarely used for attempted suicides. In such cases, the counselling and support provided to that person is in fact beneficial.
Well, I think suicide shouldn't be a crime as those people who go for suicide and they fear that they should be go under counseling instead of finding them. Yeah.
I think suicide shouldn't be a crime because it's like your own life and it's like your own free will. You have the decision over your own life. So no one should actually penalize you for committing suicide. Yeah.
Next, we interviewed a case study who got scholarship to overseas study, but despite the good grades, flirts with death.
I was 15 years old and I had a friend who grew up with me. We were in love. One day, we got into a car accident. I survived, he didn't. I became depressed and I tried to escape from the pain. One of the ways that I tried to do that was through suicide.
Derek soon developed megalomania. At its peak, it drove him to great academic success, but the ego he had also developed caused him not to talk about his feelings with others.
Generally, when we're talking about suicide, we're also talking about risk factors of people with psychiatric mental health disorders. So you'll see that some of those are definitely what we call major depression, okay, bipolar disorder. I'll talk about a little bit more. Bipolar depression, people who are abusing substances or heavily abusing alcohol.
At the time where I had pushed myself so greatly, I had achieved a great many things academically. Scored very well for my O-levels. I got a scholarship to a university in Australia, study psychology. I couldn't support myself mentally or emotionally, and I started drinking and smoking quite heavily as well. That's when depression kicked in, and I took a lot of mood stabilizers with alcohol, which gave adverse effects to the body physiologically. It gives you less of a fighting chance for survival by overdosing with flu medication, since my immunity is already low.
People who have accomplished great things don't always lead a fine life. Too often, many young people are broken inside. For this section, we interviewed several close friends who didn't know better about their friends' suicidal tendencies.
We were both close friends and as well as working buddies in our CCA. He was always taking charge of everything and always did the best for everyone, even if meant putting himself in a tough position. Although he was the top scorer in his marks, he wasn't that good when it came to handling projects. He was someone who took everything upon himself. Projects and exams had then caught out of him, and he could no longer take the stress, and that's why he jumped.
I might kill myself. It must have been such a painful experience to have lost a soulmate, someone you're so close with and so in love with.
Death of a loved one. Pain. Commitment. What else can make us kill ourselves?
When they're young, learning maybe not helpful ways to cope with problems. So for example, if they grow up with a family where people have contemplated suicide, okay, or that they're always coping with problems via taking drugs, alcohol, very hostile and things like that. So you might find that as a child, when you're growing up, that's what you have learned. And because you have learned that, whenever you have problems, that's how you used to cope. And I think that's the nurture part in terms of family influence, or the environment that you grow up in, not so much the genetics of it contributing to suicide.
To me, suicide sometimes is the solution for my problems. And I attempted it twice last year.
Life wasn't like this before, until that day. My student was kicked in his face and his parents threatened to sue me. I wasn't allowed to teach anymore. I should have ended my life then. It would have been so much better for me and the world.
Guidance, decision, advice.
It's the same with like all kind of shit that we face in life, As in eventuality, life goes on, and it's true that in the end, it's only those who live are able to like live and tell the story and help others who are going through this kind of things.